Baked until golden and topped with sesame seeds, this bread is perfect served with softened butter. Made with a few simple ingredients, it comes together really easily and you're gonna love making it. Let's jump in. Into your stand mixer, add 1 packet of instant yeast. Add in 1/2 cup plus 2 tablespoons of warm water, not hot. Add in 1 tablespoon of white sugar. Next, we need the olive oil. Measure out 1/4 cup and then add that as well. Then 2 tablespoons of honey. And then 1 egg. Ideally, this has been sitting out until room temperature. Then I mix until combined. You can see the egg is broken, but the honey is still on the bottom. That is totally fine. We're gonna get all the dry ingredients in, and then when it needs, everything will be well combined. Using a kitchen scale if you have one, this recipe calls for 2.5 to 3 cups of flour. I like to add it in about 1/2 cup increments or 60 grams at a time. After 1 cup of flour has gone in, make sure to add in about a teaspoon of salt. If your flour is sticking on your sides, use a spatula to push it down. You can see how wet this dough is. We're almost there. We've put in about 2.5 cups of flour, but you definitely want to be adding more. You can see that the dough is still super sticky and we want it to be definitely kneadable, so we're going to add in another 1/2 cup. Okay, we added in exactly 3 cups, 360 grams of flour. This is now very kneadable. Okay, to get the kneading done, we gotta put my hair up. Otherwise, I always tend to get flour literally everywhere. Speaking of flour, I like to have my flour on hand. I like to give it a little bit of flour on the surface here. Take the dough off the dough hook. And then we're just going to knead this until it's very springy. We're trying to develop the gluten so that we get a good rise. We have a nice soft pillowy bread when it's all done. The stand mixer is great because it actually does a lot of the work for us. We've been going for about 2 full minutes and you can see that the dough is really starting to spring back. It's a little bit slower than I like to see, so we're gonna keep going for probably another full minute here. Okay, this is ready. You can see how easily it springs back, so we're gonna get it to rise. When you feel like your dough is ready to go, like mine is here, we're going to put it into a well-oiled bowl in a warm place. So I like to take just a little bit of softened butter and kind of smear it around. This just helps the dough not stick. You can use olive oil for this as well. Place your dough in the bowl. When it's all sealed up, we need to get this in a semi-warm place. A great option is if you're doing laundry that day, put it on top of your dryer. Or if you've been baking, put it on top of your stove. Just don't put it in the oven. You don't want anything to rise too quickly because then your bread will collapse. So find a warm place, and if you don't have a warm place or it's really cold outside because you're making this for a Christmas dinner or something, then it may just take a little bit longer to rise. But what we're looking for is for it to at least double in size. So I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. Our dough has more than doubled, so we are going to get it out of this bowl. Today we're doing a 4-strand hollow loaf, so we need to break this dough up into 4 equal parts. If one is a little bit bigger than the other, just add that dough to it before you start rolling. What I like to do is just get it started and then snake it down like this. And we're just gonna do that to each and every single one before we braid it. Go ahead and repeat for each one of your slices. Label your strands left to right, 1 through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to braid by starting with this side before we move to the other side. So starting with strand 1 on the left side, you're going to move it between 2 and 3. Then you're going to take strand 3 and move it back to where position 1 was. Now, starting from this side, we take strand 4 or strand 1 and move it between 2 and 3. Then take 3 and move it back to where 1 was. And then you just repeat until you have a fully braided loaf. Place your hollow loaf on that cookie sheet and cover with a lightly damp towel. Now we're gonna do the final rise. While your loaf is doing the final rise, you can make sure you finish up the last bit of prep. We're going to take 1 egg and crack it into a bowl. We're gonna set this aside. The last part of prep is making sure that your oven is reheated. You're gonna preheat it to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The last ingredient are some white sesame seeds. You can also use poppy seeds if you prefer as a topping. I love the flavor of sesame seeds, so that's what I prefer to top my challah bread with. But which one do you guys choose? Let me know in the comments below. Dun 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 dun! Okay, it has done its final rise, so we're gonna get this egg wash on there. Be really generous with your egg wash. It'll give it a really nice golden color when it's done baking. Then we take these sesame seeds, probably about a tablespoon, and just coat your loaf with them. I always kind of dump the excess off so that those seeds don't burn, just like that. And then let's get it in the oven. This will bake until it sounds hollow when you tap it. Everything will be a really deep brown golden color. So this was in for a total of 36 minutes. Cooking time will vary based on how big your loaf is. So just be aware, watch it, check on it, don't let it burn. We're gonna get this onto a cooling rack so it can cool for a little bit, and then we're gonna eat it with butter. And that's challah bread. I hope you guys give this one a try and love it as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching.